Hi, this is the second part of the interview I did with David that grows Nepenthes outside in Hawaii. In this second part, we'll mostly focus on the roots, the species that handle really dryness, fire. We'll also touch on some species that are really sensitive to roots. We will also talk about the drainage, and finally we'll talk about natural food and his favorite lowland Nepenthes.
So there's a group of Southeast Asia Nepenthes that are pyrophytes or paraphytic, and they're drought tolerant, fire tolerant. This is Concondana, for example. It's a smaller one that I have. And another relative next to it is Smilesii. I believe it's from Cambodia area. There's a newly described species here. This is Hertilla, or Hertilla, however you want to pronounce that. Mm-hmm. And you'll notice that I keep plants like this. This is a Bracteosa. It died back. But what's really unique about these plants is in their natural habitat, fires go through, or they might experience drought, periods of drought, and they come back. So when they were first discovered, what had happened is collectors, when they got them, sometimes they would die back, and they would throw the pots out.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they have a really, really thick root.
Yeah.
But that'll explain why they can survive.
Okay.
So an example of a pyrophytic Nepenthes, the nature of it, is going to be coming up here with an example of Andamana. So this is Andamana. You can see the plant here, and it completely died back when I first got it. And you'll see right in the center there's kind of a little black dot. Mm-hmm. And that's where the original plant came from, right there. Yeah. But after some watering and patience, it comes back. The plant comes back. And it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's really an exciting thing to see.
What substrate do you use?
Now, a lot of these are in almost pure Akadama. There's some perlite in there. I put little pieces of chopped up sphagnum in there just to kind of keep the area moist. But they definitely don't appreciate it really wet all the time. So okay. I let it dry between waterings. This is Mirabilis variety globosa. And though it's not related to the Forellii group, excuse me, it also is a pyrophyte, or it can handle the dry or even fire that may sweep through the area, and it comes back. It has a really, really thick root to it, so it comes back. So even though it's not in that Forellii group, it's another pyrophyte. And another one too is Minima. Minima also has a really thick root to it, and here's and almost like a carrot. It looks like a carrot or some ginseng or something, really bright orange. And these are water storage factors that help it to come back after a severe drought or even a fire is swept through here. Now this one particularly, this is Maxima purple. That's what it was given to me as a cutting, and I grew it out, and I have not seen purple in there. It really, really seems to follow this other Minima that I've seen photographs of. The color, it could be the exact same plant almost. So I kind of I'm leaning toward it's being Minima rather than Maxima purple. And if any of the viewers have any comments on it, I would love to know if they can truly identify which one this is. Now we'll talk about some Nepenthes that I found here in Hawaii that appreciate being dry between waterings. In other words, they don't like wet feet, so to say. Here is a Zachariana, and not the best picture I have of it. It's kind of a small one here, but probably one of the most drought tolerant of the Nepenthes. I think only one that's even more drought tolerant is one of the paraphytic ones, Nepenthes holdenii, and yeah, they like it completely dry, then water them.
Okay.
Another one too along that line that appreciates is Purvelii. Purvelii they don't like a lot of water. These are the ones from Seychelles,
Okay.
and so they appreciate again that just nice watering, let it dry, and then water it again.
Okay. Define dry. Like bone
Um,
dry?
yeah, I let it go almost with these two species almost bone dry, and
Wow.
and it's almost like, whoa, what? Because we know them as always wanting constant water, right? But
Yep.
I found I get to know the pots, the weight of the pots. That's how you can tell if they need water or not. So once I get to know what is a dry pot, and then after it's been watered, just by lifting it a little bit, I can tell, and I know when it needs water.
Okay, cool.
The next thing I just want to talk about was when we're potting a plant, Nepenthes, there is at least one species that just absolutely hates to be repotted, and that's Clipiata. Clipiata, I lost a really nice male. I'll show you a little bit later as we go along in the videos here. But here's a female. This is my only female. Has about 3, maybe 4 growths on it. And then over there, there's a nice male that I have too. And wonderful plant. I potted in pure, almost pure Akadama rock. It allows for good drainage, keeps the moisture there. But the biggest thing is repotting. Just really use a lot of caution and don't repot it as much as other Nepenthes. This is the male that I lost. I wept for weeks after this. No, not really, but it's one that I really appreciated, and it's gone. It was one from Vestuba that I really liked with that. So yeah, so I pick up the pots again just for the watering sake, but again just focusing on repotting. Use your good discretion whenever you're repotting Clipiata.
The shape of the leaves are great.
Yeah, those peltate leaves, and you got the little emerging Nepenthes bud under the, growth coming under the leaf. Yeah, really interesting, beautiful plant. Not so much the pictures, but more of the leaves. And then I received a Clipiata from this gentleman here, and I just love the way he repotted it. He took a lot of care into this. He actually cut out a little thing there, and he actually had another pot over it, and then he taped around it. So I really appreciate Juan. I'm sorry, Juan, I forget your last name, but a shout out to you. Great potting, a lot of care into it, and you have really good plants too. I really like your plants.
Nice.
Next topic I just wanted to look at and explore a little bit is the plants that need good drainage. Here's Campanulata, beautiful, charming plant. I adore this plant. This is from Pearl River Exotics. I believe it's Exotics, I forget, but wonderful plant that I got there. There's a little basil coming out. Really dry. I mean, the media just goes right through. I think it's in perlite. It looks like there might be black cinder there as well. But I think when I pot it up, I'm going to put it in Akadama mostly for that excellent drainage that it needs here. Charming little plant, kind of on the dwarf side for Nepenthes. So if you have limited space, excellent plant. It bloomed a male.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, which probably about, I think it was 60 to 70% of Nepenthes are males.
Oh yeah.
Kind of a high, even in nature, it's that way too. I don't know why, but if anybody knows why, they can comment on it. But I believe this is 10 inches. I don't know how many in centimeters this flower stalk came out. But wonderful, charming plant. Berbigiae is another one that likes excellent drainage, perfect drainage. It's growing in, again, Akadama. There's some perlite and there's some sphagnum in there.
Hmm.
But Berbicia does really good here. It's kind of more of an intermediate, or even I guess even a highland one, but does really good here. And it get a bit kind of shady area too. It appreciates. It doesn't like it in the sun. I didn't know that, and then some of the leaves start to sunburn, so I moved it to the shade.
Okay, so it's good to know. I will check my BBGA for the leaves.
This is Hami guitanensis. It's from Mindanao in the Philippines. I'm totally surprised that this plant is more of an intermediate, maybe even getting into the highlands, but it does really good here in Hawaii. And as you can see, they get really long
Tendrils?
on them. And again, total good drainage. Philippinensis is another one that loves just perfect drainage. It does really good out in the sun, almost like full sun. And beautiful plant. There's a red variety, but just look at that snow white interior.
Yeah, that's nice.
Gorgeous. I mean, just I love it. I think it's an underrated plant myself. There's another one there, just kind of hanging down there and starting to turn from low. I mean, from the low pitcher to highland pitcher. It's an intermediate right now. A great plant out in the sun, and no signs of stress either way. This is kind of just a variant color of Philippinensis.
Uh-huh.
So I have two color forms there.
Wow.
Yeah, Rafflesiana nivea. One of my newer plants. I got it kind of on a larger size, but just striking, just beautiful plant. Again, likes really good drainage. It's one of two varieties. The other one is Alata. As far as Rafflesiana, there's Alata, and Alata is characteristic. If you look up the
The wings?
the little wings there, you see them.
Yeah.
You see on the stem too. There's this little. I don't know what the technical term is, but they get those alatas or those wings, as you said, right?
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful plant. So I have all three varieties of Rafflesiana. Rafflesiana happens to be probably my favorite plant of all, because it's the one that really got me into growing them. As a young kid, I saw them. I said, those are impossible to grow. But that really high peristome on the back, very toothy, is very characteristic of Rafflesiana.
Mm.
But they get pretty large too, the plants and the pitchers. Yeah, it's another variety, dark. You can see on the leaves there how it got a little sunburn there. Leaves. So I kind of move it to a slightly shadier area, not quite in the full sun.
Mm-hmm.
This Brunei one produced an upper. I was totally shocked at it. This Brunei variety has these long stems. They're probably like almost 3 feet long, just incredibly long. I've never seen a Nepenthes Rafflesiana with that long of stems on it. Here's an upper one. It's kind of thrashed there a little bit, but I had to take a picture anyway. There's maybe a side view. I think there's one of the front view too. You can get the full color of those wings. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. These are some of my favorites out of all of them. I covered some of them, but this is a VGI, this BE 4087. I like it because this is like probably what you would see in nature.
Okay.
I mean, I love the candy stripes, all those. There's a really, but for myself, I'm not a flamboyant grower. So I'm satisfied with the simple purities of seeing something that might look like this in the wild. And this is another VGI that I like, similar to the other one, the BE one, but this is from Hose Mountain. And I appreciate the simplicity of the plant and how it was just, this is how you'd find it in the wild. So if I came in the wild, I would see this. I love it.
What kind of substrate do you use for this one?
For this one, let's see. I'm using the perlite sphagnum
Uh-huh.
mix. Yeah, they're growing kind of in the shade, bright, but in the shady areas. Leaves don't seem to burn.
Okay. I have it. That's why I'm asking.
Oh yes,
Oh, nice.
yeah. For obvious reasons, Baikal Karada, I think it seems to be a lot of people's favorites. I
Hmm.
especially like this photo here because you can actually see the liquid coming from the fangs. So it looks
Yeah.
like some kind of venomous snake or something that's ready to, strike on something. So Baikal Karada, I have two. I have the Sri Aman, I think is what it is, but this is the Brunei orange, my favorite.
Mhm.
Surprise to me, this is Cornuta. This is from the Philippines. Uh, Beautiful, to me, a beautiful, striking plant. That striped peristome and the lid did is carry down onto the uh, picture itself. That muted white inside. I adore this plant. Not seen in collections very much either. Cornuta.
Mhm. That's beautiful.
Campotiana is one of the Southeast Asian uh, Pyrophytic Nepenthes, and this one does really good, exceptional for me here. Has I think the plant itself has three growths on it, but you can see it's kind of windy here.
Yeah. But super long tendril.
Yeah, very long, and normally they'd be growing along the ground,
Okay.
but they hang down pretty good. Sometimes they go this way and they lose all their contents, but that's life. Yeah, so just a striking plant. Uh, it likes a lot of water for whatever reason. I grow it in a substrate of sphagnum and perlite, and it's in a fairly good sized pot. So there's a upper view there, and you can see one, two, and I believe there's a third, maybe even a fourth growth in there too.
Hmm.
Petiolata and Surigauensis. This is Surigauensis. I think it is. I need a little help on this one. I identify it as Surigauensis, but somebody has given it to me saying it was Petiolata. So any help out there, appreciate it. It's producing uppers. These are the uppers for this
Yeah.
species here.
That's nice. I don't know what is it, but
Yeah,
mine are still tiny, so it's impossible for me to.
yeah. But getting ready to flower, I would think, with uppers. Now here's a petiolata for by contrast, and I believe I had some uppers. Maybe it'll show them in here, and they are different from that other Assyria goensis. But both of these, I love both of these species very much. Yeah, there's this bright red peristome on the petiolata, which I would think would carry over on the uppers as well.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, it's going right next to my tie, right out in the open sun. Surigauensis likes a little bit more shadier. Petiolata likes it out in the full sun without any burning at all. And I'm surprised I can grow it too. I think it's more of an upper or intermediate species there too. Oh, there's kind of a side one there. That's just a tie and petiolata growing side by side. One is a very lowland one. One is a kind of an upper intermediate to highland, and they grow side by side. Thorellii, again, another paraphytic species here. It's growing out in the sun, believe it or not, and that jewel orchid there was, it's growing there, but it's shaded by the other plants here. This is Adnata. Adnata is one of my favorites, absolute favorites. It's got these beautiful little pictures here. And the leaves are flat, and they have this red or orange ciliate around edges around them.
Mm-hmm.
Just striking contrast between them here. Love this plant, and it kind of vines out along the ground too. So far, that's what it's been doing. Can't wait till it gets bigger. Yeah, you see my toes. Now this is alata, and alata means wings. So you can see along there, it has the wings right along the front of the picture there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of plants that are really graciliflora that are being passed off as alata, and it's even thought that ventrata, the cross ventrata, is actually crossed not with alata, but with graciliflora instead. I'd love some confirmation on that from you. So,
me too.
Yeah, I was like surprised because I could never see the alata in ventrata. It seems to fit more ventricosa and graciliflora. One of my most striking, beautiful contrast pictures is Albo marginata, a green. For whatever, I love the green with that striking white trichomes around the.
How do you grow it?
This one needs a good amount of light. I give it as much light as I can. It's pretty much growing out in the open area. It likes to be dry. It doesn't like wet feet, so kind of let it dry out a little bit. As soon as it dries out, water it again, and it does great. And even it's starting to go up to it's producing upper pictures here. This is kind of a newer one, so you can see the dead pictures there, and they hold their pictures a lot. So here's a dead picture, a rare thing for Alba marginata to see dead pictures, is they really hang on to the pictures a long time. And I'm very pleased with this species.
It's vining.
Yeah. So it is climbing, and then it's produced its first upper there. I think the true upper. The lid on this is a little bit more crescent. I thought it was pretty cool on it. Yeah, this kind of showing the viney nature of it again there. Those little red dots in there is gracilis too. Beautiful, bright red gracilis. But this Alba marginata, this green one, is one of my favorites. There's our Reinwartiana there too. Here's the red Alba marginata. Again, a beautiful species. I still like the green white contrast with it. This red variety actually has red leaves or purplish kind of leaves on it too. And both of them they love the sun, and they do really well. But again, just letting them dry between waterings. Tentaculata is one of my new favorites here. Very easily recognizable by that oblong kind of peristome has on it. And this is doing really good here too, just climbing up. This is your typical one that I have. It's producing uppers. And then I noticed something on the next photo. I think it's the next photo here. Not quite. It'd be the next one after that. Just one of my favorites here. And I think it's the next photo where it's going to show, a color break here. And I think, oh, that's weird. It only happened on this one picture. So I don't know if I dropped some Clorox or whatever, they bleached it out or what, but
that's beautiful.
It is, yeah. So I'm thinking, I hope it'll show in other pictures there too. It'd be a nice change there. Yeah, those are some of my personal favorites.
Thanks a lot for all those info, David. That was great. There is a lot of things I didn't knew, like keeping them on the drier side or shadier. So now I will watch back this video and see if I have all my plants at the right spot. Hopefully, it will be okay. And I will put your Instagram on the screen if people want to continue looking at your plants or even contacting you later. And so, thank you for sharing all your knowledge. And
Thank you so much, Remy. Appreciate it. You have a great YouTube there. I encourage people to subscribe. It's great. You have so much great information there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. But yeah, have a great day and see you later.
Okay. Thank you. Aloha.
Bye bye.